I have had a fab day today. I've been out most of the day, charity shopping with my mother, and we went to Tesco because I have got an evening on my own. Darren has taken himself and the kids to a concert, and I've got a few hours of just being me in my house. I've done loads of different things to get my own time as my kids have been growing up. I've done spa days, I've done nights away with mates, I've done dinners out with friends, but now I'm in that phase of my life which could sound really boring to some people, but there's no like that I like better than going at charity shops and then going at supermarket for some food. It makes it even better when I can come home, nobody's here, I can unpack at my leisure, and I've chosen something really nice for my tea, and I can sit on my own, just eat my dinner in silence. I understand that some people might be slightly confused by that, but there's going to be more people, I reckon, specifically women, that are going to get it. Because if you're a mum, your own time's a bit precious, innit? And you can go out, you can go to the spa, you can go out for a meal with your mates, you might even go away for night or out with lasses for a couple of nights away. And I've done all that, and it were good, and it provided me with what I needed. But now I'm in this right boring phase of life where I just like to be in the house, in my house, on my own for a few short hours. And that is what I'm doing tonight. So, been to Tesco. Don't shop at Tesco, me, you know. Never go. Marks and Spencer's, occasionally Aldi, all-time Ocado, food delivery. I like my food delivered to my door. But we were out charity shopping, and we decided to go to Tesco because I wanted to buy my son something nice to eat for my dinner. It's a weekend. We want weekend treats. And actually, it were a treat because I went to a supermarket that I don't even go to. So it was like, right, exciting. Do you get that? Are you in that phase of life where you go to an alternative supermarket and you're just really excited? Or am I just absolute boring as hell and nobody can relate to me? Whatever. So, got quite a few bits to show you. I just moved my cat food out of the way because that's not interesting at all. Some bits, or most bits, I reckon are for me, and then there's some bits for other people. I don't have any loyalty cards with supermarkets, but obviously all supermarkets work on, you know, wanting to know what your shopping habits are. But Darren, my other half, has cards for every single supermarket, which is amazing because he doesn't do food shops. So I don't know how he's ended up with this collection of QR codes or barcodes or whatever they are. But you just text him and say, have you got a... And he's got one and he sends it you. So if it weren't for him, it'd have cost me a bit more, but he sent me his club card details. And these were on club card. These are for kids for weekend. We don't normally do cereal. They were something like £2.85. Still expensive, isn't it? But as an occasional treat, they were supposed to be £3.45. Right, got some pastries. I've got some other pastries somewhere. I'm not going to do this in any particular order. I will let you know what I'm going to eat for my dinner though, just in case you're interested. I've got some almond croissants. Now at Tesco, they do packs of 2. I don't know anywhere else that packs 2 up like this for £1.90. So buying a pack of 2 is slightly cheaper than buying an individual one. Now, I like a good almond croissant. I know that they're not to everybody's taste. The best almond croissant that I've ever had is Gail's Bakery, and it's an almond and chocolate croissant. And they use their croissants that they've not sold at the end of the day to make their almond and chocolate croissants. And if you do like a good almond croissant, if you're ever near a Gail's, you need to go and treat yourself because it is a treat. These don't look very appetising. I mean, I've never come across a supermarket croissant that actually is appetising. It smells nice, smells vaguely of almonds, but it's not getting me excited. I suppose I'll see what they're like when I have one for my breakfast tomorrow. And then I picked up a couple of chocolate croissants. These are your bog standard supermarket croissants. If I lived anywhere near a city, I would go into the city and buy my pastries for a weekend. I don't do it every weekend, but I would make, in fact, probably if I lived in a city, I probably would have pastries every weekend, wouldn't I? I would make the trip and get the pastries. In fact, you know what? Maybe that's what I'm going to do when I'm in my 50s. Maybe that'll be a thing. I'll just go into a city on a weekend to buy my pastries. Like Belle out of Beauty and the Beast, when she used to go into the village square to buy the bread from the bakery. Speaking of bread from bakery, when I picked this up, it was warm because they'd just baked them. I'm going to have one of these for my dinner. It's not elaborate what I'm going to have. I'm going to have a nice, simple dinner. I'm liking simple food. In fact, if I lived on my own, I would eat very basic. I'd eat soups, I'd eat salads, I'd eat pasta dishes, I'd eat risotto, and I'd eat the occasional sandwich. As it is, I'm a mother and I have to cook for a family, so I don't eat like that very often. I eat like proper meals. I'm going to have this with cheese, tomato and salad cream. That's what I'm going to have for my dinner. That is what I want. And then the other ones, the other people in the house can have those. I'm just going to have one. What price were they? £1.55. They are quite large. I mean, that's a decent sandwich size, that. What else have I got in this bag? Oh, we needed milk. So I thought, well, as soon as it's the weekend, let's treat ourselves to Jersey whole milk. Got a thick layer of cream on the top. It wasn't that expensive. I normally buy organic milk, so I'm used to spending a bit more on milk than the average bottle. Produced in the UK using milk from the UK. There we go. So that is our weekend milk. I also got one of the meals that were on offer, you know, the meal deals. That were exciting as well. Coffee. I always have to buy some nice coffee. These are the pods for the Nespresso machines, and I think they're maybe £3.50 for 8, but you can get 2 packs for a £5, which I didn't think that were bad. So we went with Colombian Supremo, which is notes of cocoa and blood orange, strength level number 6, and then Accordo. You get 10 capsules in that one, yeah. Notes of dark chocolate and malt. Oh, very interesting. If I said that you get 8 capsules, you don't, you get 10. I'll have seen the strength number 8. My brain will have got bemuddled. So yes, weekend coffee. And obviously, for into next week, so if I drunk all those in a weekend, I would but surely die. Do like myself some salted crisps. Aldi ones, I got Aldi last week. Listen, I ain't going to knock Aldi because the prices are all right. But everything that you buy from Aldi, with the exception of the spicy avocado dip, because that is bloody delicious. Everything else is like, it's all right. It's all right. You can't expect any more because of the price that they're charging. It's all right. The avocado spicy dip, however, is bloody stunning. Don't know what these are going to be like. £1.50. I like them a little bit saltier than the Aldi crisps, which is why I'm bringing Aldi crisps into the conversation. Marks and Spencer's ones, though, they might be a little bit too salty. Fucking hell, I'm like Goldilocks. Maybe these will just be right. We'll see. I'm going to have some in a little while. Crumpets for Sunday breakfast. They're a good price. Oof. the finest, Tesco finest. Peach and almond Danish, £2.78 for two. Now I don't know whether you're going to be able to see these well through the packaging, but they look some very nice Danishes. So I will have both. Oh yes, I will, because nobody else eats things like this. They're all quite chocolate-based people in this house. So I'm going to have those. Obviously not together, because that would be bloody greedy. What else did we get? Strawberries. So far, it's early in season. Marks and Spencer strawberries, absolutely banging. Co-op strawberries, shit as anything. Aldi strawberries, So we'll see what Tesco strawberries are going to be like. I am aware it's very early in season, but Marks and Spencer's, Co-op. I am not a Tesco shopper, as I have already said, but I did like the look of these little pots. One is zingy corn salsa. It livens up any salad. And one is pickled pink slaw. Again, it livens up a salad. I just thought that these were really interesting, and I'm going to have some on the side of my plate today with my sandwich. I'm also going to have some normal coleslaw. What has it got in it, just in case there's anybody who's interested? Sweet corn, pepper, tomatoes, onion, coriander in lemon juice with some pepper and some salt. Nice, simple, easy to make yourself. And then red and white cabbage, carrot and red onion in a side of vinegar. Again, it's very easy, and if I were having a barbecue or a party, I'd be quite happy to make that, but I'm just having a party for one and I don't want to cook. Right then, £2. I love these. I was looking at gluten-free aisle to get my grandson some cakes, and I saw them and they spoke to me because I like them that much, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy myself some. These are what I got for Freddie this week. I tend to try to buy him some every week because it's expensive, isn't it, when your kids are gluten-free. And I think sometimes grandparents are quite happy to spend a little bit more than parents. So not tried them, can't say what they're like, but they do have them in the raspberry. They have chocolate orange, and they have another flavour. But this 4 raspberry ripple slices. So I thought, safe bet, because it's jam, and I'm sure he'll like jam, and it's icing, and what kids don't like icing. So you get 4 pack. These were about £2.85. Dates. My mother stopped and she was looking at old dates, and there were these. If you know my jewel dates, they are bloody expensive. These were about £2.80-ish. Not £3 under. So I thought, do you know what? I did pick some of the other dates up, and I thought, it's bloody Saturday, Joanne. What are you doing? Treat yourself and get yourself some of the medjool dates. Splash out. So I did. I ain't going to eat all this Saturday and Sunday. This will trickle in to next week. It's just that I'm excited and I need to share it. I thought, after my sandwich and my little bit of fancy salad, I'll have a yoghurt. I love these. I can remember when they were about 23p in Morrison's years ago. And I always used to have the hazelnut one. But as I've aged, I can't have the hazelnut one anymore. It makes my tongue feel slightly funny. So I've gone for the black cherry one. I like them. I like Longley Farm. It's in Holmfirth. I live nowhere near Holmfirth, so it's not local to me, but I do like the brand. Now, last thing we're going to have a look at is what I bought from the £15 sort of dine-in selection. I was well impressed. I do not do the dine-in stuff very often. But I thought, you know what, why not? I'll buy it just for me and Daz for one night this coming week. And I'll do the kids whatever they want. And then me and Daz, I'll have whatever I've chosen. And you get a star. No, you don't. I'm lying to you. Don't listen to me. You get a main, a side, a dessert, and a drink. And the drink selection had these in. 2 of the bottle greens. They're £6 usually. You get a crisp apple and a wild elderflower. The other drinks that they got were Diet Coke and wine and beer, but I am not a big drinker, so these are just right up my street. So we've got those. Right. That's good to have in a deal. We'll do it back because I'll show you desserts. Oh, they've got some really, really nice desserts. If you are not a Tesco shopper, but you do like to do the dine-in, then go and have a look, see what they've got, all right? Coffee and amaretto tiramisu. Yes, please. Glass jar. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Beautifully layered. Wonderfully topped. Can you see it? They had got lots of different desserts. One of the best selections that I've seen. However, I am not a supermarket connoisseur. I'm not a dining connoisseur. In fact, I very rarely walk into a supermarket. So maybe I'm not telling you out that you don't know, but maybe I am. Side-wise, they've got vegetables, they've got chips, they've got mashed potato, they've got these, and they had something else, but I can't remember what it were. Anyway, I got the potato dauphinoise because I really like it, but very rarely can I be asked to make it. So, whoops, just dropped the lid in the sink. I'm going to have that. And the last thing, the main, I was just speaking about these literally 2 days ago. Chicken parmesan. Big bits. You do have to do some of the bloody assembling yourself, otherwise it'd be soggy, wouldn't it? So you have a packet of the tomato sauce. It's like a pasta sauce. So you cook your chicken escallop and then you put your tomato sauce on the top within the last 5 minutes probably, and then there's some cheese stuff down here, I reckon. I don't know what it is, I've not read it, but that is what I think that you're going to be doing. Finish with shavings of 12-month aged Parmigiano Reggiano and pair with a crisp white wine. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm having my bottle green stuff. They had loads in. They've got the Forester chicken, they've got steak, I think, lasagna, can't remember, but they've got lots in. So I don't know what it tastes like. It does all look very nice. I have learned over the past year that just because something looks nice doesn't mean it's going to taste fantastic. But I have high hopes. So hopefully they will be good. And I'll be able to tell you that, yes, definitely you should go and check out Tesco Dine-in, finest dine-in, for £15. If you went out for a meal, and I guess that is what the dine-in range is for, isn't it? Regardless to whatever your supermarket you go to, it's sort of a don't go out, dine in. Drinks, the amount of fluid that I got there, £6 should have been. 2 desserts for 2 people, a side and a main. I'm going to just add vegetables. £15, you're not going to get that. I know you've got to cook it yourself, which is a real ball ache, and they do not provide a chef. But it is a deal, innit? I think it is. I don't do it very often though, because I'm tight. Right, I'm going to go. Don't all rush off to Tesco all at once though to get your meal deals in. I don't have high hopes for these, but I do have high hopes for the Danishes. You take care, and until I see you again, bye.